And welcome back to the Pit Sports Talk here on 88.3 WXOU Auburn Hills. Damien Dennis, your usual host. Austin Puckett stepped out for a moment. He's going to be back here probably at the end of this next segment. Tim Pontzer should be joining us here in a minute, the senior reporter over from the Oakland Post. Got a couple hockey guys in here, though, and my listeners know how much I love to talk hockey, as ill-informed as I may be at times. We got Frank Matyok and Billy Balent from Oakland University Division I men's hockey team. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. Hey, thanks for having us.
Yep. Now, it's been a fun season for you guys so far, hasn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, you've had a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm like I said before we came on, I'm a little bit disoriented at the minute. It's fun but long and hectic show today. But you've had a long season. You just found out here playing in the playoffs. You got a lot of good stuff going on right now, and I'm loving it. I'm gonna be at the Good Luck Duck finale next week.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
You're going to nationals. You got an auto bid. You won the regular season. You're gonna be in the GLCHL Playoffs tomorrow, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, it's a lot of fun for you guys.
Oh yeah.
So, let's just get started with this. For each of you, what have been your most memorable moments of the year so far?
Well, the most memorable probably that win against Davenport, our last win. It was a huge win. We were down 3-1 going into the second. Yeah. For the record, Bill got the game winner that game.
Yeah, that was a good game. I really enjoyed it. The season's been fun so far, but I'd have to say at the end of the day, probably splitting with Davenport was fun, and but winning the regular season championship, that means a lot.
Now, that win of the regular season gives you an auto bid to nationals.
Yeah.
And you're playing Mercyhurst on, what's the date? March 3rd, 4th?
Yeah, I think so. We got to play that Friday.
All right, yeah. So, I mean, that's going to be a fun game for you guys. It's going to be a hard game. What are you guys doing to prepare? You've got a pretty hectic next couple of weekends.
We just want to take it one period, one game at a time. Starts tomorrow night. Got to start preparing for the game. Just a hard work and practice, and just making sure you take care of yourself. We got a couple injuries right now, so trying to get guys healthy.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, you guys have had a pretty rough season, though. I don't know the specifics. I didn't look into it too much, but your one goalie had a family tragedy happen. You've had a lot of injuries, but you've come through it all with like blazing colors, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's really been especially if you can go on to win nationals and all this. If you can succeed over the next couple of weekends, it'll be like just a really great story to tell, because you guys have done quite a bit this year.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been too rough a season. It's just kind of been one of those seasons where, if you take one period off, that had a lot of effect on some of the games that we lost. Is just, bad first, bad second, not being able to finish in the third. But, I mean, for the most part, for the record, we were able to, we're a team that when we work hard, we win games and, win them pretty easily.
Yeah. So, let's talk playoffs right now. You said you're playing U of M Dearborn tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys played this team. You beat this team this season.
Yeah, we swept them for record.
Yep.
Yeah, 4 times. But at the end of the day, you got to work hard each time you play them, and we know they're going to bring their best game.
All right. Yeah, I haven't gotten to see you guys play Dearborn, but I've seen the last 2 home Davenport games. I saw you guys play Buffalo. Mm-hmm. I think there might have been one more in there. I can't recall off the top of my head. Those are the most memorable. And, you guys play tough. You play tough and fast and hard. And I think that's going to come into play for you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know Dearborn's style, but clearly you've swept them in the regular season. Hopefully you can continue that streak tomorrow, sweep them just completely.
Yeah.
Now, I did have an interesting question, though. Do you guys, at least, I mean, you might not know offhand, but is there a possibility you could face Davenport in the playoffs?
Absolutely. Davenport will play most likely Adrian tomorrow.
All right.
And
if we win, we play the winner of that game.
I mean, personally, for the record, I'd rather play Davenport just because Adrian's a much more physical team, and I feel that last time we played Davenport, we kind of wore them down with the physical play, and that was the case Friday night against Adrian last week. They're real physical, and they kind of took us off our game.
Yeah. Yeah, that you know, a lot of people who might not know you guys too well might think that you had that 2 defeats handed to you by Adrian, but that you actually won your regular season.
Yeah, it's kind of weird in the locker room. You know, Coach he was talking about, you know, rebounding and coming out Sunday and winning the game, and then I think word spread quickly around the locker room that Western Michigan beat Davenport, which nobody would have ever expected. And you know, after losing a big game like that, to hear that, it was kind of, you know, a little relief in the locker room. But we still had work that needed to be done, and we battled on Sunday against Adrian.
And that, you know, you guys came out strong against Adrian. You know, not taking anything away from you guys, but you know, it felt like you kind of may have lost some momentum. Mm-hmm. You think that might play a factor in tomorrow's playoff game?
I don't think so. U of M Dearborn kind of runs a run and gun style, but if we can trap them down in their end, work our forecheck, we should have no problem. I mean, if they want to send, you know, 1 or 2 guys out of the zone, we'll take advantage of that little mismatch.
All right. Now, finally, Tim Pontzer. Yes, you're sitting there. Yeah. So Pontzer's back in here. He's going to join us now. Finally.
I don't know. This guy's wearing a Penguins jersey.
I know that's
like
for the record, that's my least favorite team.
Yeah.
Wear your jersey to work day or whatever.
Missed that memo.
Hey, at least it's not Crosby, man.
That's true.
Jordan
that's
Stahl
true.
is a respectable player.
Absolutely. One
of my favorites. Anyway.
All right. So, Tim, I'm sure you got some questions for these guys. Frank Matyok, Billy Balent. You're sitting over there laughing. I've been trying to get you in here for like an hour. Talk a little bit.
Well, you guys, I wrote on that. Your last game was against Adrian, right?
Right. Yep.
And it was the shootout loss. And you hit the post in the shootout, right?
That
was him.
Bill,
and I mean, it was close. Your goalie played well. I wrote that in there. But what I understood is you guys already locked up the auto bid.
Yeah, we locked it up Friday night, and then that was a huge game for us Sunday.
Because you got like a point for that, right? And it gave you the most points in the conference.
Right. We ended up, it didn't even come down to the tiebreaker between us and Davenport. We took the sole #1 spot. But that game Sunday was important for us for nationals. If we would have won Sunday, it would have given us a chance. Just the way the rankings came out and are done, we could have played Saturday and not had to play that Friday night before. So we win Friday. We're going to have to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think, play 3 in a row. But
and do you know who you're playing tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow we have U of M Dearborn.
Yep. You weren't in here. We did cover that already. But it's all right. Yeah,
we'll let it slide.
No, when you wrote it and stuff, we didn't know who they were going to play. They didn't find out until today.
Yeah.
I was assuming did Dearborn have to play today, or
they played at noon or something.
All right, so that I did not know. I was figuring the game might be like a lot of the other games for you guys would have been later in the day, like around this time. I figured you wouldn't know until maybe like 10 o'clock tonight. But it's good that you guys already know. You know how to prepare. Like you've already told us, you've swept them in the regular season. You know, and you said there's even a possibility you could face Davenport in the playoffs. Will that have any implication on the Good Luck Duck aside from momentum?
No. I mean, every time we play them, it's a huge game. You never want to lose to them. I mean, for the record, if we could, beat them 2 more times, it'd be nice to beat them 4 times this year instead of just the 3 that we'll win next week.
And if you do end up playing them in the tournament, where will that game be held?
Adrian.
Adrian.
Because when you look at that Good Luck Duck thing, the home ice advantage seems to be key in that series.
Yeah. Well, against Davenport,
Mm-hmm.
we're split with them.
Right.
We took
because the first one was 5-0. You guys right here at OU,
record, that's probably our best game of the year.
And then you went up to Grand Rapids and
Right.
lost the following day, right?
Right.
And then you guys split the next games, obviously, so you're tied.
Right.
And-
We each took a home game or a game on the road. So I would say the home ice isn't that important.
Absolutely not. I mean, you guys, like you just said, you pretty much split the series, not only in wins, but home and away,
Right.
too. You know, each team has had 2 chances at home ice advantage, basically. And, you know, you split that. You split the other stuff. It's coming down to this finale. What are you guys calling it? The Good Luck Duck Blackout?
Good Luck Duck Blackout, yeah. We encourage... we're going to try to pack the place. We want everybody just to, wear black to the game and just cheer like crazy, get us going, and it'll be a good atmosphere for us and the fans.
Absolutely. You know, I've been trying to get Tim to come. What was it, the last time you guys played Davenport at home? It was a lot of fun. It was a fun game. You guys lost that game.
I love hockey.
Yeah.
Love hockey.
So next Saturday or Friday, you got to come with me.
I'll cover it.
And we got Lex Lee from next door at the Oakland Post. He's going to come take photos
pictures.
for us. I'm covering the story for the Post. If you guys win the Good Luck Duck, I want you guys back in here.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I love talking about the Duck.
And that'll be the first time you guys have won that series since
2007. I want to say.
And the reason, did you talk about this before? The reason it's called the Good Luck?
But it's always fun to mention it if you guys want to talk about it.
Because that's when you guys write it's called the Good Luck Duck because whoever has won that series has gone on to win nationals.
Right.
So, and you both are kind of in a position to where you could
both win,
exactly.
both
So
have
that game could maybe have a bearing on that.
Now, Good Luck Duck next Friday at 8 p.m. at the Onyx Ice Arena in Rochester Hills against Davenport. Winner gets the Good Luck Duck. There's something bothering me with that just because regardless of who wins, what if the team who wins doesn't win nationals? Because, the story is that whoever has won it has went on to win nationals. There's it's not guaranteed, but it's kind of like a, it's just a fun thing for you guys. What if you win and you don't make it?
Well, I think that'll have no really outcome of the name of it. They've been doing the series, for a while now, and it's a great rivalry.
Oh, definitely.
And it's it's something to play for. You got the playoffs, nationals, and then you got the Good Luck Duck.
I would love to see you guys win the playoffs this weekend and the Good Luck Duck next week, and it'd be even
for the record, it'd be just so much momentum carrying over in the nationals.
And even though I want to see you guys win nationals, even if by some chance of fate you did not do that, if you did at least these 2 things, it'd still be amazing.
Yeah, it'd be
a and even though I'm not supposed to be biased, I am really pulling for you guys to win the Duck. Right. Simply because I get a huge story in the Post.
Well, absolutely. As we're both sports writer over the Post, and I put out a thing, weekly Sporting Blitz, to recap different events, and the OU Grizzlies, the official website, has no hockey coverage at all.
Right.
And so I have to look for coverage. So and I'm very interested in hockey.
He's even come to me for it.
I love hockey as a sport, and it's a shame that you guys aren't promoted as much. Obviously winners. People want to see a winner. Right. So if you guys, have continued success, then you should draw some fans in.
Yeah, absolutely. We get a good amount of people that show out.
You guys usually have a packed house. The last few times I've been there, maybe against the Buffalo game, it wasn't as packed.
Right.
Which you guys won. That was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
You beat Buffalo 7-1,
right?
Which was fantastic. Mm-hmm. But the Davenport games, it's been pretty much packed, except for maybe the Davenport section, which may not have as many people, but the Oakland section is just huge. And I know it's a lot of you guys' family, friends, fans. I'm trying to get a whole group to come, even though I've got to cover it. Ugh.
We're trying to get as many people there. We're trying to fill, a section that the Davenport fans would use too. We just want to get all our fans in there. Try to turn it into standing room only.
Yep. Now, I'm going to try tonight. I got some studying to do after the show. I'm going to try and get this actually online tonight. I always post these shows to YouTube. I'm really lazy with it, but because you guys are trying to promote the Good Luck Duck, if I don't get to it tonight, I'll definitely get to it tomorrow.
Awesome.
Got to put school first, obviously, but we're working really hard to promote you guys. We love this hockey team here at the Pit. It's just a lot of fun to see you guys play, and you got an auto bid to nationals. Oakland basketball, I mean, not to take anything away from like Reggie Hamilton and them, they're doing great, but they might not get to that same place they were last year at this time.
Well,
so it's great to have another team on campus who's actually doing that. It might not be an NCAA team, but you guys are still a national team. You're Division I collegiate hockey.
Because it's a rare occurrence where you have the regular season results result in the auto bid to the instead of the conference tournament, which is, I mean, because you can have a team in basketball, like you said, you can have a team in basketball where they'll have a great regular season, but then if they fall short in the conference tournament, on a buzzer beater or something, then they don't get to represent themselves in the big tournament. But you guys have already, put that away, and now you can focus on this good luck duck, and you can focus on the conference tournament. But you guys have the most important thing of your season, I would think.
Right.
Going to nationals already packed away.
We've got about 6 minutes left here with you. I don't know offhand. It's actually really hard to find on your website, oaklandhockey.org. It's really hard to find sometimes, but where are you guys ranked right now? I mean, I know you finished out the regular season. You obviously won your conference, but in the national poll, where are you guys ranked?
Oh, national
if you know.
We finished out 11th.
Oh, yeah.
11th.
We finished 11th, and then the teams going to the top 20 teams going to nationals, they kind of take another poll. And for the record, I think we kind of got kind of worked over in that. We actually got re-ranked to 13th, and the top 12 get that Friday night off, and we have to play on Friday. Yep.
Yeah. And you guys mentioned that earlier, didn't you? Yeah. So, yeah, we'll get to that here in a second. So, Tim here wants to talk a little bit Red Wings.
Okay. I figured you guys would.
Yeah.
But let's take at least one more minute to talk some more Oakland hockey. You guys, you're going to have to play at most all 3 days at Nationals. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Right.
Is there any way us who can't make it, because where are Nationals being held this year?
They are in Cleveland.
So, for those of us who can't make it, how can we tune into the game, watch the game, listen to the game?
Our director of
hockey operations,
Corey.
Broadcasts it.
All right. Yeah, he does radio broadcasts, right? And they go on air, like online, right?
Yeah.
All right,
usually for the tournament, they do record all you can watch it. They stream them online. I don't know if it'd be Fast Hockey. That's usually who does it, but I think there's a way to view them.
I think on the website, actually, your guys' website, it mentioned that earlier. Yeah. So just to send it out on a note to make Tim over here happy, let's talk some Red Wings. They have that 21 home game winning streak. That's a pretty good accomplishment. How do you guys feel about that?
It's the best ever happened.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, playing at home, that was one of our goals for record, was to win all our home games this year. I mean, you see how tough it is, and not a lot of teams do it. But 21 in a row is that's crazy.
Now, how do you feel about the argument where some people will say that streak deserves an asterisk because the teams before in the 30s, 40s, 50s that set that record, when you had Boston set that record originally, and then Philadelphia, they didn't have to go to a shootout in overtime. They won it in regulation. How do you feel? That's how the game has changed these past 7 years, where they've had shootouts after the lockout. How do you feel? Do you think that the streak should still count?
Oh, absolutely, it should count. The games got so much faster, and we were kind of just talking about that this morning, about the concussion issue and just how much harder the game's played, the hits, the equipment that players are using, the speed of the game.
More parity in the NHL now.
Oh, absolutely. Only 4 teams right now do not have a winning record in the NHL, and you look at obviously the Red Wings are first right now, but they're coming and playing Nashville tonight or tomorrow, and that team they're only 5 points back of them, and they're 6th in the West. I mean, there's that parity, like you said. So I think that streak definitely should count. People want to put an asterisk on it, but that's the way sports change. And yes, teams did have to win in regulation, but I think it's almost harder to win in overtime and a shootout consistently like that, because then you can just have a lucky bounce, like your shot hits the bar and there is definitely an aspect of luck. But I think that the Red Wings have built their team where they can win in regular games. But then you have guys like, obviously you have a guy like Datsuk or something, but you have a guy like Bertuzzi who can really, he might not score all the time in the regular game, but he really is valuable in the shootouts.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we got to go to break here. We got to move on to the next segment. So, I want to thank you guys for coming in. Billy Balent, Frank Matyok of Oakland Hockey, Men's Division I. They're playing tomorrow night against U of M Dearborn at Adrian. I'll get the link. I'll post it on the Facebook page for the Pit, so you guys can listen to that online. We'll put this show up for you guys, so Corey can, if he wants, he could maybe get you guys a little bit more publicity through my show. We'll work stuff out. We'll get this online for you guys tonight. But if you guys want to go check out some Oakland hockey, next Friday, the 24th, Oakland finishes their rivalry with Davenport for this season for the Good Luck Duck. Onyx Ice Arena, Rochester Hills, 8 p.m. next week. Good Luck Duck. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, hope to see you all there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. We'll be there.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, once again, thank you guys for coming in. You're always welcome. If you win the Good Luck Duck, I want you back.
Absolutely.
So, it's been a lot of fun having you guys on. This interview's been a little bit disoriented. We had Tim come in halfway through. It's not a problem, but it's a lot of fun. We love having you guys in here. You're always welcome. You're listening to the Pit Sports Talk here on 88.3 WXOU. We'll be back after the break with Carmen Hayes, and Austin Puckett's going to be back in here. We're going to talk some football. We're just going to hang out.
Thanks for having us.
Yep. Thanks for coming out.
I want to give a shout out to all the guys that are listening on team. For record, I know those guys are probably going to be giving us some heat tonight just because that's how they all are. But big shout out to those guys.
Yep.
Come check us out.
All right. Well, we're going to break. You're listening to the Pit Sports Talk here on 88.3 WXOU. You're listening to 88.3 WXOU, Auburn Hills. This is the Pit Sports Talk with Damien Dennis, and I just got told that this song by Sleeping Awake sounds like elevator music by Pontzer over there, and I'm going to kick him in the...
I'm going to agree with that.
Yeah, you would. Even though it gets a little bit more heavy and bumpy there, but whatever. Screw you guys. Screw you guys, I'm going home. You guys can do the rest of the show by yourselves. So, I went to this concert last night. Maylene and the Sons of Disaster, and I got to sing with the lead singer, and I was happy. So, I was gonna play that, but
can hold on? Can you just explain that for a second? I remember yesterday we were at the Post after our meeting. You're like, man, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
going to this concert. Who's at this concert? And this was your explanation. This was your exact explanation. Bearded men who play Southern rock while on skateboards.
Well, I didn't say...
And I asked you, is this like a drunken fantasy of yours?
Drunken sexual fantasy, maybe. Yeah, I went there. No, what it was, Maylene, Sons of Disaster. They're this band from Florida, and actually they have a new guy in the band. He's a guitarist from Pontiac. A lot of fun. It's not Southern rock. It's not like screamo, heavy metal. It's not hardcore. It's kind of like a mix of all of them. And you've heard me talk to him. I have a beard. I like my beard. You have a baby's beard.
I know.
But, it was a lot of fun. And me and Matt Spees and a couple of my other friends got to sing with the lead singer. And that was the point of my story before you had to tell everyone about the skateboards and stuff, which is fine. Because skateboards was the theme to start the show today. But it was a lot of fun last night. And I'm surprised I can talk right now. Because going into that show last night, I had a hard time talking. And then I got to scream and sing. And I didn't get to drink, which is fine because I don't need to be drinking, but it was a lot of fun. But anyway, we're here, and these two are laughing.
On Sports Talk.
Sports Talk. Yeah, Sports Talk. Just so you know, I have had an interview with a musician before, right? Kevin Spees. Yeah. It's not all Sports Talk. It's my show. It's whatever the hell I want it to be. We got Carmen Hayes in here. Carmen Electrifying Hayes. We call him Electrifying because he's obsessed with The Rock. talk about my obsession with bearded men. Look at him over here. He's obsessed with The Rock. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, that was kind of a creepy radio voice. I like it, though. So, Carmen's in here to talk a little bit about health and fitness, and then all four of us are going to talk some NFL. You know, the season's over. We're going to rate our top 5 quarterbacks. But to start, Carmen, you were like me a couple years ago, only maybe not as fat, because back in, 2007, I was just a short little stocky kid who probably ate too many tacos and Big Macs. And now
I like tacos.
Austin likes tacos. That's good for the record. This last segment is just going to be a lot of fun. I can see this just going to hell on us real quick. But Carmen, you showed me a picture earlier, which I wish you wouldn't have because it was kind of creepy, but you used to weigh 250 pounds. You went into the Marines, came back. I don't know how much you weigh now. I really don't care how much you weigh, but you look ripped. I remember the last time that you were in shape, it was high school, and it was creepy. So, what have you been doing, man?
Yeah, when I had to get out of Marine Corps boot camp, I weighed about 178. And after I got a job working at Burger King.
Again.
And, you get 50% discount on all the sandwiches.
No, I used to work at a Burger King with you for 2 months. That's how you got fat, is working at a Burger King. What the hell are you thinking?
I don't know. It's just good food.
Good food. It's like eating...
Cheap.
Like your mom. I'm kidding. But yeah, so... you got this job at Burger King. You've been doing a lot of stuff to get back in shape. Something I think everyone in this room needs to be doing pretty badly right now. Yes. Jordan's over here patting his stomach. Oh, big, scary black guy. So, what have you been doing to get back in shape, man?
About 2 months ago, I went into gym, Power Fitness, or Powerhouse, that's what it's called, and started my own workout program. Work out 5 days a week, start watching what I was eating, and next thing I know, I gained 15 pounds of muscle in 12 weeks. And now I'm on a shredding phase, which is I'm in my second week of doing it, and I dropped about 3% body fat.
Yeah. That's pretty good, man. I remember it's been a while since I've been in a hard workout routine myself. But, over this last summer, all I did was work out because I had nothing going on for me. I was living up in Traverse City with my dad. I worked nights, so I slept for, half the day. But I'd get up. I'd have nothing to do, so I'd work out and then go outside, work in my dad's garden or something. He's trying to be a farmer up north, and it just doesn't work for him. But, I did nothing but work out, and I looked like a smaller version of you, obviously, because I'm not as tall, and I'm not, I don't know why your arms look so freaking huge because they don't look like they have a lot of muscle on them. But, I was in shape and I was happy. And then I moved back, came here to Oakland, and I've been doing nothing but eating fast food and hanging out with a bunch of journalists. And it's, journalists do nothing but drink, half of them. So, I just feel like I'm fat, man.
Well, that's the problem.
What? I'm fat?
Well,
what about Austin here?
Well, no, because that's one of the biggest things I stopped doing was I stopped drinking alcohol, and I've only been drinking water for past 4 months now.
That's actually a good way to go about it. I remember reading something, because I was trying to lose weight before I went into the military myself for the whole month that I was there. But, you eat, I think it was before every meal, just eat a couple celery sticks and drink a full glass of water. Then have your meal, eventually work out, throughout the day. But before every meal, eat 2 celery sticks, 2 carrots, just a raw vegetable, drink a full 8-ounce glass of water. That alone would help you lose weight.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously, whatever you had for your main meal, you would have to make sure it wasn't, awful for you. It couldn't be Austin eating tacos, or me Big Macs, or Tim over there, and I don't know. He's just wearing a Pittsburgh Penguins jersey. I don't even want to talk about him.
Yeah, well, raw celery is considered a calorie-burning food because it takes more calories to burn while you're eating and digesting it.
So, what kind of workout routine are you doing right now?
Right now, I'm just doing Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'm doing upper body, just my arms, my shoulders, my chest, my back, 5 sets, 15, 20 reps, light weights. Always having a 30-second rest period, just keep my heart rate up, which has helped me lose weight and still keep my muscle mass I have.
Yeah.
And Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I do just my lower half of my abdominal workouts, which is same routine. I'm going to be doing it for about the next 5 weeks and going back into a muscle building routine.
All right, yeah. Your routine sounds a lot like mine. It's a little bit different, and I'm going to stick with mine, like, probably throughout my entire workout routine until I find something or develop something more. But I kind of do the same thing. It's like I only work out 4 days a week right now in terms of lifting. I do arms, shoulders, and I think arms and shoulders I think are the main part, and neck and stuff like that on Mondays and Wednesdays. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays I do chest, back, lower back. And then on Fridays I try and do my legs. Whatever I can do. I actually don't focus a lot on my legs because, yeah, I just don't like doing it. I hate doing legs, just flat out in general. I hate doing it.
Oh, a lot of people hate doing their legs.
And I don't even need to do it, so. And he's over here talking about doing, oh my God. He's laughing, Tim. So, it's just, I wish you guys would stop laughing. You know, a bunch of fat people in here that can't do anything. Jesus. Somebody keeps calling in here, so. They're probably all mad because I'm talking about.
Why don't you take the call?
Because I don't take calls ever.
Take the call.
No. So. All right, we know your workout routine. We know you're in shape.
Well, you just lost a listener.
I don't care. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I do not take calls on this show unless they're from you.
That's
Tim.
right.
Yeah, because you're a professional.
I know. Very much so.
And besides, it's probably just someone out in the office calling in anyway. Be jerks. But let's talk sports. We got 4 of us in here, 5 if you count Jordan, but he's not on air.
Why didn't you count Jordan?
Because he's not on air. Well, I don't know what you guys are laughing so hard about. There's nothing that funny. I think y'all are high. My God. Seriously.
All right, let's talk NFL quarterbacks.
All right, yeah, that's what I'm trying to segue into, and you guys are just over here. All right. Top 5 NFL quarterbacks from this year, playoffs included. Tim, what do you got?
Oh, you look at the past season, there were definitely some injuries to the quarterback position. You obviously had Peyton Manning out for the entire season. And Peyton Manning, I mean, if he was in there, you'd have to put him in the top 5, you'd assume, from his past performances. Also, a guy that I like a lot, Matt Schaub out of Houston. He was off to a really hot start, and then he got hurt. Top 5 quarterbacks, if you're going to count the playoffs, the best guy in the regular season was by far Aaron Rodgers. While Breeze broke the yardage mark, Rodgers was just unstoppable. He was able to pick apart defense. He had a quarterback rating of 122.5, which is unbelievable for a whole season. His touchdown-interception ratio was 45-6. So I'd have to put him number 1 for the season. Coming in a close second, I would put Drew Brees from New Orleans. He shattered the Dan Marino's passing yards mark on the season. He had 5,476 yards this year, and he had a touchdown-interception ratio of 46-14. Number 3, I guess you got to put Brady in there. He's third statistically in terms of quarterback rating behind Rodgers and Breeze. He obviously led his team to a Super Bowl appearance. He almost tossed up 40 touchdowns. He was one short of that. And you just look at these completion percentages, though. I mean, he's at 65.6, Rodgers at 68.3, and Breeze is at 71.2, which is unbelievable. I guess if you're going to count the playoffs, you have to put Eli Manning in there at 4th. He didn't have best a statistical season per se, but he made the plays when it needed to happen, and he led comeback drive after comeback drive, most notably in the Super Bowl. And he, his quarterback rating was a 92.9, and he almost reached 5,000 yards. He was 77 yards short of that, but he also threw a lot of interceptions. He had 16 interceptions, but I don't know. And then for the fifth, I'd probably go with the local guy, Matthew Stafford. He out of Detroit. He had a great, obviously his best career season. It's the first one he's actually played the whole season. And he really showed his worth in terms of running that offense. He tops 5,000 yards. He has 41 touchdowns. He also threw 16 interceptions as well. But, I mean, he had, 5 in the Chicago game or whatever.
Right.
And, I don't know. He had a broken thumb in the middle there. I don't know. I'd probably put him at 5, though. His quarterback rating isn't above 100, but he's the highest guy outside of being 100, 97.2. And he really he showed why he was drafted number 1 overall this year. He obviously he has a guy in Calvin Johnson who, if you give Calvin Johnson to any quarterback, they should get 1,200 yards and 20 touchdowns in a season, easily. And I mean that seriously. Calvin Johnson is that good.
Yeah.
But that's not to take away from Stafford, though. He also spread the ball around to he had Pettigrew, who dropped plenty of passes for Stafford this year. He has Titus Young in the slot, rookie, and then he has Nate Burleson. So he definitely had some viable options there. But I really think that he came into his own this year and proved that when he can stay healthy, he can be an elite quarterback. Now, he needs to continue that, and if you're going to put him in that upper echelon of quarterbacks right now, he needs to have a playoff victory, and he needs to, be consistent. But if you were to say for just this season, I would say that he was the 5th best quarterback this season.
I like that a lot. I love how detailed you got with that too. I was actually really
love football.
Yeah, I was really not expecting that much detail, but I loved it. I mean, my God, I told him to go and he just went. Puckett, what are your top 5?
All right, I think I'm going to start off. You got to go. I mean, if you're contrasting, if we're going to count the playoffs, you have the regular season best, which was Aaron Rodgers, and then you have the postseason best, which was probably Eli Manning. I mean, the playoffs, your stats are going to be padded on how far you go. So obviously, Manning's going to throw for the most yards between Manning and Brady, but I'm going to put Breeze number 1 because I think that Breeze got to the NFC Championship game. He had a great regular season as well. Not quite as good as Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers flamed out in the playoffs. They have the number 1 seed. They're a hot team going in, and he loses at home. And for that reason, I'm not going to put him at the top spot. So I got Breeze number 1. I'm going to put Rodgers number 2 just because of that fantastic regular season that he had, MVP caliber. And he's doing the discount double check all day. And then number 3, I'm going to go with Eli Manning. He wins the Super Bowl. That in itself is going to vault you up the standings a little bit. So I'm going to put him number 3. He may not have had as good of a regular season, but his playoff performance put him up there. I'm going to put Brady number 4. Once again, just like Breeze, contrast between the playoffs and the regular season. But at the same time, you can't really put him above Eli because he lost. So how can you do that? And then number 5, I'm going to go with my boy, Matthew Stafford. 5,000 yards. He flames out in the playoffs, but they're playing one of the better quarterbacks, one of the better teams in the league.
They played Drew Brees.
Right. And once again, Stafford beat Brees, so how could you put him above him? You couldn't.
Now, I'm not going to go into as much detail as you guys with mine because I've not listened to any or read up on any stats to prepare for this segment. I'm just going to go based off what I've seen, what I've known. Playoffs and regular season, I think Drew Brees is my number 1. He did not get very far, and he did get beat by the Giants, right? No, not Giants. 49ers. Sorry.
The 49ers in San Francisco.
Yeah, and the Giants beat Aaron Rodgers. So, but yeah, I'm going to put Drew Brees at number 1. He set the record this year for passing yards in a single season. Mm-hmm. He got to the playoffs. He got to the second round of the playoffs.
I misspoke. He didn't get to the NFC Championship game.
No. It's all right. But that was he played great, and it was just a lot of fun. And I don't know. Yeah, thanks. I just got thrown off by a text message from ESPN, and Jordan Reed's over here going, yeah, because the sound was epic. But anyway, back on track. Damn it. We got Drew Brees as my number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, I'm going to go with Eli. Not because of his... I mean, you know where he placed that with passing yards and stuff for the season, but he's Super Bowl winner.
Well, I mean,
did he get the MVP? I can't recall.
The Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, he did.
Yeah, okay. So I got to give number 2 to him. I love Eli Manning. I am a fan. He's not Tom Brady to me, and I'm a big Tom Brady fan. But Eli's my number 2 in terms of favorites, anyway. When I'm sitting here, I'm trying to be objective about it. I'm going to put him at number 2 just because he did win the Super Bowl. He got Super Bowl MVP. He got that team there, and I mean, it wasn't all him. It was Victor Cruz and everybody else on that team. Defense, offense. They stepped it up the last 3 or 4 weeks of the regular season. Then they brought it to every team they played in the playoffs. The Patriots in the Super Bowl. You know, the Packers in second round of the NFC playoffs.
They beat
the Falcons.
They beat the Falcons in New York. They beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in Lambeau.
And then the 49ers. And they were
they
all
went
close
to San
games.
Francisco in a monsoon and beat 49ers.
Yep. And my third quarterback, I'm going to go with Tom Brady just because he was in the Super Bowl too. And he had 5,000 yards passing, I think. He might have just been shy. I don't recall offhand. Like I said, I don't have stats in front of me. I'm not going based off stats, just going based off what I've seen and know. And I'm putting Tom Brady at number 3. And at number 4, I'm going to put Stafford because he also got over 5,000. As much as I'm not a Detroit Lions fan, Stafford did great. And I'm not going to lie, I do love Matt Stafford. If he was on any other team, I'd be a bigger fan. But, you know, he's a Detroit Lion, and, man, I just hate the Lions. So, number 5 is going to be Peyton Manning. Just because I love all the stuff going on with that.
So you don't have the 2011 leading regular season statistically Aaron Rodgers in your top 5?
Technically, if I have to, but I'm going to go with Peyton Manning just because of the story.
You know, I would pick Tim Tebow. I would pick Joe Flacco. I would pick Jeremy Lin over Peyton Manning.
Matt Ryan.
Like I said, just for the story, man, just for the story. I mean, you called in from Indianapolis and just had a whole monologue about
well, I mean, obviously, Peyton Manning is, we talked about this last week, he is the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
He's been there for however long he's been there. He's been there for over 14 years, I think.
Yeah.
And he, you know, he's the face of that franchise, and now he might have to, you know, go on.
Yeah.
And, obviously, it showed how much he meant to that team when they go from being a perennial, you know, division winner and conference contender to being the laughingstock of the NFL, not winning till week 14. So, you know, but I mean, it's interesting to look at this argument when you include playoffs because I mean we're you know, Wes Welker drop away from saying Brady was the best,
yeah.
And we're you know, if Rodgers and them showed up, he would. I mean, he's the MVP of this season.
Yeah.
But then you have Breeze, who's the offensive player.
I'd say Breeze is the MVP of the season because he did a lot more.
Well,
I mean, it's just he didn't like every analysis.
I mean, you can say in terms of stats, but Rodgers, you know, he put up the stats and he got the wins. You know, he was playing with a defense that
Breeze got the wins too.
But when they played in the first game of the season, Rodgers won.
He did, and Rodgers won 13-0 before they got their first loss. So, you know, I don't know. But then you look at how much does Rodgers mean to that team? He obviously meant a lot, but you look at what Matt Flynn did against the Lions the last season. Matt Flynn set the record for most yards in a game by a Packer quarterback. Not Bart Starr, not Brett Favre, not Aaron Rodgers. He comes in and plays one game and destroys the Lions secondary and sets all these records. And so, you know, you could argue, can Rodgers do that with, is it the receivers or is it his talent?
All right, now we got Carmen electrifying Hayes over here. Just real quick, Carmen, who are your top 5 quarterbacks?
I would actually have to say Brett Favre for not coming back this year. After that last season he had was just terrible.
You were a Brett Favre fan last year, so. All right.
I would have to say one of my biggest surprise was Tim Tebow.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, all the stuff that was happening to him, and he was showing people up until he faced Tom Brady twice.
I do like that. I like that you went there with that.
Yeah.
So,
I would have to say Aaron Rodgers being my number 3. I was honestly thinking that he was going to go all the way this year, but
you were one of them.
Yeah. And I have to go with Tom Brady because he's just Tom Brady. He's the
golden boy.
He's like the Jesus of football.
I thought that was Tim Tebow.
No, I would actually have to say Tom Brady because he's Tom Brady. He could do it all.
And who's number 5?
Number 5, I'd have to say Eli Manning for actually winning the Super Bowl.
I was hoping you'd throw him in there. I mean, he won the Super Bowl, and if you didn't have him in there, that would have made sense if we were just doing regular season, but, Super Bowl win kind of puts him there. So, just real quick, we're going to go off air here in a minute. Brittany Haney, over from the Oakland Post, is just talking to me right now here on Facebook, and she's just complaining that we're talking too much about sports, and I don't think she realizes this is a sports show. And she told us to stop talking about working out and football and all this stuff, and I'm like, dude, it's a sports show. So I told her I'd give her a shout-out, and this is my shout-out. I'm making fun of her back, so I want to thank Tim Pontzer and Austin Puckett for coming in today, as always. Senior reporter for the Oakland Post over here, Mr. Pontzer. He always wants me to mention that. And I don't know what Puckett's...
He is a kid who doesn't see the...
Spartan extraordinaire.
He's a Spartan.
Green and white all day.
That's his life.
So he's basically a Sparty.
Uh-huh.
We want to thank...
Spartan. Sparties are candy.
Sparties are candy. I want to thank Brad Jeffers from the MLB Fan Cave for coming in, promoting his stuff, talking baseball with us. Got Jordan Reed from the Oakland Post, multimedia guy. Been taking pictures. He did some stuff for the Facebook and Twitter for me during the show, so that way I'm not too distracted like I was this last segment, talking to Brittany and laughing at working out and just everything Tim has going on over here. Thank Oakland Hockey. Big thanks to them. I love having them on the show. Frank Matyok, Billy Balent. You guys got to go check out Oakland Hockey next Friday, 8 p.m. at the Onyx Ice Arena. The finale of the Good Luck Dog. That's going to be a big game. And I hope you guys come out there with me, Tim and Austin. That'll be a lot of fun for you guys to get to experience that.
And I know that we have spring break coming up, and there won't be an issue with the Oakland Post, but me and you will be on there covering the hockey. The Sporting Blitz will be there on Wednesday, and we'll have coverage of anything sports going on. There's baseball and then the Bracket Busters. So go to Oakland Post Online to read that.
All right. Now, we did this last week. You too. Give out your Twitter handle so you can be followed. I know you're nothing special, Puckett. But...
Nothing special at Austin Puckett. No big deal.
Timmy.
I'm at Timothy_Pontzer, Pontzer.
Senior reporter for the Oakland Post.
Senior reporter for the Oakland Post. Updates on the men's and women's basketball, and then upcoming with the hockey, and then soon enough the baseball.
Real quick, before we go off, thanks for that. You reminded me. Baseball coming up next.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, it's Wednesday, right? Against Vanderbilt.
Then Louisville, and then Cincinnati.
Yep, it's going to be huge. We're going to be covering that together here eventually for the Post. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can be followed on Twitter at DJDennisOU, and also the show is on Facebook. Just look up The Pit Sports Talk with Damien Dennis. I think everyone in here except maybe you right now are following it, Jordan. You're going to be following it after this, but we've got a lot going on there. We got new pictures up finally, thanks to this guy to my left. And big thanks to you, by the way, Jordan, for coming in today and sitting with us for the last 2 hours. You're listening to the Pit Sports Talk here on 88.3 WXOU Auburn Hills. We'll see you next week.